Welcome to Dirty Stupid Wisdom. I'm Ben Keaton. I'm anxious about this essay. I know I'm going to get into trouble because there's so many people that I haven't actually apologized to, and not just in the UK, but also in Ireland, in New Zealand and Australia. Susanna, Jimmy, Gavin, Wendy, for example, Simon, Rosemary, I've never apologized. Sam and David and Fiona, at least that's just the list I can think. Listen, let's just get on with this. Relatively Speaking by Ben Keaton. I found it weird. Total strangers would turn up to the house, usually on the weekend. A family of 4, 5, or 6. They'd be dressed in visiting clothes. The parents would sit in the lounge, and I'd be told to take the others up to my room. The pretext was that we were related, somehow. That was the passport that got these freaks upstairs. We were sentenced to find common ground because of some shared genetics. They'd sit on my bed, touch my things, and say nothing until we were called down to eat sardine sandwiches and drink orange squash. Then we'd be sent out to the garden to kick a ball at each other until it rained and they were taken home. I made it my business to never have anything to do with them. To this day, I stand as a truly awful relative. I don't know any of my cousins, or uncles, or aunts, or nephews or nieces for that matter. Uncle Ben is a ghost. I am a bad relative. I'm sorry. From time to time, I fantasize about winning the lottery and buying their friendship, but, well, not much. Because, I just don't get the family thing. Family. I don't get it. Now, I realize this is not the norm. Family is at the core of our society. Our economy is based on the spending habits of the average family. Our politics are rooted in family values. We trace our lineage on a family tree. If one is a pervert, it's because it runs in the family. When Charles Manson called on a group of misfits to do his evil bidding, he called them the family. We have royal families and first families and, of course, the Holy Family. It's big stuff. I know, but I still don't get it. I think the notion of family is great, in theory. The mom, the dad, the kids, that's a very clear hierarchy. But it's never been that straightforward, has it? Even back in the day, when the man was the so-called master of the house, we have enough books and plays to tell us that the dynamic was not straightforward. That structure has forever been challenged. Even in the Christ household, it must have been pretty weird. After all, Joseph was there by proxy. That had to make for some pretty sharp teenage exchanges. At some point, Jesus must have said, "You can't make me clean my room. You're not my father." And Joseph would have snapped. "And he sees every time you're a little shit. And hears all your dirty little thoughts. Yes! Now go clean your room!" I had 2 childhoods. Mom and Dad were older parents. My brother and sister were already dating by the time I came along. When they shuffled off to boarding school and university, it left just the 3 of us. I'd listen to Black Sabbath on the radiogram while Mom polished silver on the dining room table. It was like a scene from the Irish version of Jane Austen, underscored by a Tony Iommi guitar solo. A few times a year, we'd head off to weddings and christenings around the country. Mom had a brother and 2 sisters down in Cork. Dad had, I don't know, a bunch of people more. In fact, as his father, my grandfather, married twice, that would mean I had step cousins somewhere. I don't know. I tried to work it out if I thought I could get a kidney from them if the need arose, but unfortunately, I'm in perfect health. Anyway, I sat through a lot of awkward silences in other kids' bedrooms. Once in a while, I tried to make something of it, but it never worked out. You know, you're encouraged to be friends, but if you kiss one of them, the police turn up. I mean, where is the line, really? Where? The other kids seemed to get on with it. They faked friendship pretty well. I found it excruciating. And I could see that my awkwardness made it weird for them. I wanted to say, look, it's all right. Don't worry about me. Crack on with the Lego. I'm going to go out and sit in the car. So it was natural, or rather unnatural, that I pass on the same unease to my children. They don't even know what a cousin is. Neither of my kids has ever posted out a Christmas card, let alone visited a relative. The girl still hasn't met one of my brothers, her uncle. I would be ashamed if I had even a grain of understanding as to what family is for. And then the other day, as I sat with a friend, Peter, his older son came up behind him while we chatted. He wrapped his arms about his father, rested his head on his shoulder, and closed his eyes, as only a child can do, even one in his 30s. Peter pretended not to notice. After a while, he even feigned a little irritation, as his son kept his place. It made me wonder how I'd found myself there, witnessing a kind of intimacy normally reserved for close family. The night before, the same son had introduced me to someone. He said, "This is Ben, Dad's friend. He's only recently been part of the family. I don't really know how it happened." I said, "I'm not sure myself." We laughed. But he was right. Even though Pete and I worked in the same business, we'd only become friends the year before. And now I'd made my way onto the family and friends honours list. I felt an interloper, but the closeness I could see among them was wonderful to be included in. And that is not the first time I found myself in that situation. Tom and Chloe share their lives with me too. I visit his mum in her care home and hug their children when they turn up. It's a great privilege to be included, to see what a normal family looks like watching cells combined on a petri dish. For some, the experiment is really working. I'm more relaxed about it now that I'm older. I think it might be that I've just stopped asking that question, the one I couldn't answer. Who are these people? Why should I like them? There are other questions that have haunted me over the years. For example, it's only recently I felt comfortable at a party. For a good 50 years, I had no idea what was expected. I just stand there awkwardly and hope that someone would set out the rules. So I just had some inkling as to how to behave. If the host were to announce, "Welcome everybody, tonight we're going to be playing some loud music, there's going to be loads of booze, and I, for one, am incredibly horny. So drink, dance, get laid." That would have been very helpful. And yes, I know that those three things are implicit in every party, but it's never set out, is it? You're expected to navigate all this on your own. And if you do get it wrong, flirt with the host's daughter, eat with your hands, talk politics, the room goes quiet and people stare until a sinkhole of social rejection opens at your feet and you're swept away by an Uber. And don't get me wrong, I have the best brothers and sisters in the world. I love them, I truly do. We talk on the phone regularly, well, monthly, but with regularity, if that makes sense. The other ones further down the chain, with those, I'm bewildered. I get messages saying, "Cousin so-and-so passed away last Tuesday. Her funeral will be on Friday week." And I think, who? Did I meet her? Was I in her room? Was she in mine? Is she the one that got me into trouble with the police? I'm going to end with a quote. The strength of a family, like the strength of an army, lies in its loyalty to each other. I like this. Yes, I like this. This is crystal clear. I get it. That's the kind of thing I'm after. Unfortunately, it was written by Mario Puzo, the author of The Godfather. It's the mafia creed. But then maybe that's the kind of family that would suit me. The rules are spelled out, and if you get it wrong, they'll find you face down in a gravel pit. Doesn't bother me. I mean, they have rules. Yeah, I love it. You see, it all makes sense now. I should join the mafia. You might be thinking to yourself, why would I subscribe to this podcast when the man is clearly a monster? But I would ask you I'd ask you to consider it. And by subscribing to the podcast, well, you're showing some forgiveness. All you have to do is subscribe on the means that you're listening to this. There'll be a subscribe button there. If you go to Dirty Stupid Wisdom, you could subscribe there. You could also leave a comment if you're upset. You should vent yourself. On the website, Dirty Stupid Wisdom, you can leave a comment. You can, if there's something about this episode that you want to get off your chest, you could also leave a voice message. That facility is there. And if there isn't too much bad language in it, I might include it in another episode. But I completely understand if you feel that it's too horrific. But the best kind of revenge really is to subscribe. That's my feeling. To rescue myself a little bit, I've got another reading. It's dedicated to the girl. She's my daughter. And I hope this melts your heart just a tiny bit. The Little Road. Friday, May 28th, 2021. By Ben Keaton. I took your hand when you were 4 and walked you to the play school door along the little road. And in you ran, a tiny duck, to play and sing and count and cluck. Then off to Mrs. Belton's arms, past the fire station, fields and farms, to an orchard growing boys and girls. Growing you, Daisy. You in the apple branches. You found your feet and walked yourself along the little road to Elizabeth I, then second by car and bus, your headphones blotting out the rain, batting on the window, the sun soothing on the twisting road. From ABC to biology, rounders to netball, Annalise to Lucy, stepping out along the little road, sweeping out and back on a country bus. And today, it's done. The last of that. 4,000 breakfasts, 300 arguments, 1,000,000 lost shoes. Where's my book? My pen? My tie? And prawn cocktail crisps packed in a Tupperware box. The summit of a backpack heaving with wisdom. And called goodbye and said, love you, at the closing door. And left me smiling, waiting for the next step on the little road. If you enjoy that poem, there is a collection available. It's in a booklet. It's called Bernard in Pajamas. There's a collection of just 15 poems. And you find it on the website, dirtystupidwisdom.com, where you could also leave a comment and subscribe. Till next time.